Hello, welcome to Board Deck and Dice. Today I am starting a new video. This might be the only one I do. I sometimes do that with series. One season, one series, one season, one episode series. Hello, welcome to Board Deck and Dice. This is a new video I'm trying out, see how it goes, called Hot Takes. And basically it's a rip-off from something the Dice Tower occasionally do, and if they want to come at me because of that, then I will fight you. But the idea is that I get to play quite a lot of games that aren't perhaps on my priority review pile, don't get reviewed, so I wanted to do some hot takes on these games and just give you a few thoughts from my initial playment of these divine cardboard art pieces. So the first one is a game from Helvetic called Captain Bluff. Now Helvetic, a bit like Oink, do these small box games. However, this Captain Bluff is in a bigger box than the normal ones and comes with a normal set of cards. The idea is you are all working at an airport trying to send the parcels out, send the baggage to the right plane as quickly as possible, so you don't really care if it goes to the wrong place. And the destinations are all set above the kind of conveyor belts, all done through cards. The trouble was, it's called Captain Bluff, and I really felt like the bluff element of it didn't work at all, because you were only allowed to put one colour down there, and on top of each. So you're only allowed to have one colour below each of the conveyor belts. So if someone bluffs, then everyone either follows or they check that card to be sure. And certainly at 3, it just didn't work very well, didn't feel that well developed, and the other mechanics for placing cards down, you had to have them in kind of consecutive order and things like this, and you could play a rundown. It just felt like it was almost there but not there enough, and I think for me this is the worst Helvetic game I've played, and also the biggest box one, so maybe that's a coincidence, I don't know. However, the next game is also a Helvetic game, and that is Bandida. Not Bandido, Bandida. And this one's great. If you like Bandido, you're going to like Bandida. It just brings in powers, special abilities. Some cards will have abilities on, so choosing when to play those is crucial and gives you a bit more chance of winning. But there are also alarm cards which kind of hamper your chances a bit, and there are 3 modes, so you can try and stop the bandita as per usual. You can try and help her escape by adding 1 ladder card in, and then you can combine it with Bandido, just the special card, the starting card, and you can play a version of the game with that. It works. The powers are not like annoying stand up and do dances ones. They fit the theme, like drawing extra cards to give you chances to remove cards even, which is great. Yeah, just really enjoyed this one. Dinogenics was a game that I was really excited for. I'm a big fan of Dinosaur Island, and initially I wrote this one off as looking prettier in some ways, if you don't like neon, certainly. But I thought I'd prefer the mechanics of Dinosaur Island, and so far that is bearing out. And the big reason for that is that in the early games, I feel like there is a runaway leader problem. Now that happened twice, and I was talking about it with my friend afterwards. The first time, I just felt by round 2 that he was going to win, and I had no way of catching him. So the second time we played with all the expansion stuff in, the new expansion, and what I would say is that gives more options for scoring and makes the kind of weakens the chance that you will get a really good hand of dinosaurs that will just make you uncatchable, although that still could happen. But I was in the lead from season 2 this time, and I maintained the lead all the way through. And he said afterwards that he stuck with me for it. But My point was that because I had the lead, I could play it how I wanted. So in that case, I played for endgame points. So the endgame difference was the same as when he'd had the lead all the way through in the previous game. So I want to experiment with this at higher player count. My concern is in the resolution of who has the most popularity, because the person who has the most popularity gets more visitors, which is where your cash comes from and where your victory points come from. So you're already tied into maintaining that. Plus they get first shot at placement. So I'm going to try a house rule where the person with the best reputation actually goes last on the placement side. And I'm going to thematically justify that by saying they're getting everyone, all their extra guests settled in to their hotels so they don't have as much staff to go and... Yeah, it's thin. Camel Up 2nd edition, just want to mention how much I love this. I had the 1st edition. I think this is an improvement, and the crazy camels that run backwards just make the game that little bit more unpredictable, which is great when you have a game where you're trying to bet with limited information. Really like this one. A game you might not have heard of is called Wild Space. It is currently only available in French, but I downloaded the English rules because I'd heard very good things about it. It starts off, you read the rule books and you think, man, this is simple. You have 5 spaceships, and over the course of the game, over 10 rounds, you're going to place and then move those spaceships. So the placement, you place onto a new planet, you take that action, perhaps pay a cost, and then the only other thing you can do with that ship is move it up on the card, the tile, to explore, and then you get another action. But as you're doing this, your tableau grows into a beast, and it's not actually that anything on your tableau activates anymore, it's that you're building this massive end game scoring engine, and it's really quite impressive. I had turns where I just had loads of cards in my hand because there's no hand limit, and sometimes you have to discard cards to pay. And I was able to play this card, which let me then play this card, which let me play one of these cards, and all these were increasing bonuses that I was getting. I really enjoyed Wild Space, and I'm keen to play it again. We have Kingswood. Kingswood is a Kickstarter from 25th Century Games. They did Winner Winner Chicken Dinner, and this is another excellently produced family weight game. I would say this is a little bit heavier than Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. You have to consider use of resources, of gaining more resources, of spending your coin to gain resources or to refresh the ones you have, because the main resources of knowledge, attack and health, when you spend them, you just flip the tokens and then you can refresh them to use them again. Love that mechanic. I would say probably still a little bit too simple for my game group, certainly in the base variant. I'm going to add in the dock and see if that makes a change. But at the start, it feels like it's going to be slower than it is, but actually it runs at a fair old whip. And I ended up giving Winner Winner Chicken Dinner to my niece, who loves it. So I'm going to have her over to play a few games, going to try this one on her and see how she gets on with it. And she's 6 or 7, and we will see if that's something that she can manage. But I love it. I think it should be great for most people. Most families will get this. It's got this rondel movement, and it just works really well. Lastly, this is one I've had a while, and I played a lot at first, but I haven't got around to reviewing it. I probably will get a review on this one, but I just want to mention 100 Torri, which is from Pentafirst Games and Scott Caputo. I love Scott Caputo. I love Whistle Stop. I recently got Sorcerer's City. I'm looking down where it is on the floor, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Fantastic game. And I really like 100 Torri too. This is where you're trying to make the shortest pathway between 2 gates to get loads of rewards, to then use these to fulfill certain scoring opportunities which come in the way of people. And it works really well. Now, I think the biggest complaint I saw was about people copying your move, and there is some of that, but often you're torn between carrying something on you were building and then going and jumping on what someone else did before they do it. So I thought it did all right from that point of view, and I really enjoyed it. 100 Torri, as far as I'm concerned, it is one that will stay in my collection. I said that would be the last one, but I'm also going to quickly mention a Kickstarter that arrived recently called Gatefall, which is a skirmish game from the designer of Super Fight. Fantastic skirmish game. Light, on the same kind of lightness level as Unmatched and Funkoverse, but for me, already better than Funkoverse. It would take a lot to be better than Unmatched, but it's not far behind it because of a clever deck building system. The only thing I need to test is the variability, because in this box you only get 2 factions and you play a 3-on-3. Because I backed it on Kickstarter, I've got a 4th member of each of those factions, so I can swap them in and out, and I have yet to try the arena mode. But early impressions are very good, and I'm hoping that mini deck building mechanic with the action and the dice rolling will continue to be compelling. Thanks very much for watching Board Deck and Dice Hot Takes.